Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Graves coming to you on the first day of the new year 2021, 1st January 2021. And the question is it going to hit the fan like crazy this week? Is this the week that we're going to have a hit the fan? Is it going to hit hard? Or maybe is it going to be a slow fuse? Will it be later? Can we avert it? What's coming? There's a lot of things going on down this week, a lot of things going down this week that you need to be aware of. For example, the one that I'm going to focus on in this video is the Mega Million March going to Washington, D.C. from the 5th to the 7th. And while they're going there, then the tensions that are associated with this, while they're out the roof. And by the way, we're also coming up on the 3rd on the first anniversary of the assassination of General Soleimani. I'll do a separate video on that. But that could also be another input to it. It hits the fan this week. So holy smoke, guys, this week could be packed. This is the time of beyond all times. Keep your eyes wide open and head on the swivel, which is what I always tell you to do. And that's why I bring you these videos, is to help you keep your eyes wide open and the head on the swivel, because there's just so much coming. And what I want you to do is, if you've not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, bang the update notification bell, and click all, so that you will be able to get notifications of my videos, because I'm always trying to bring things to you, often before the news or often never in the news, to give you some ideas and views about what to look out for. You got to be your own judge. I try not to take sides in a lot of these things, because I really want people to be able to judge for themselves, think for yourself, no matter what I say. And I know a lot of you people do that. I can tell that in the comments below. And I'm not asking anybody to agree with everything I say. The purpose of these videos is to keep you alert, because the proposition of this channel is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And part of my surviving, I teach you how to eat from wild edibles, the trees and the weeds, purify water, how to grow your own food. And I also bring to you many other things, like what's going on with gardening, aquaponics. I'll do more and more on that, growing microgreens. So stay tuned for all that and my bug out videos I'll be doing. But I also got to tell you, I got a special right now for those of you that are prepping. $100 off my desk. $100 off for a 1 month supply of food for an individual. It is breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2,000 calories a day. You will be a winner. Yes, this is freeze dried, so it's lightweight. You can prep it, you can carry it around real easily. And it's got pouches in it. You can take it out of this bucket, and you can put them in your bug out bags. They're easy to carry. That's a good thing. And the buckets are useful too in a bug out situation. And you get two of those. Two of those makes for a 1 month supply of food for an individual. $100 off. Go to prepwithgreg.com. And hey, by the way, if you're into other diets, like you're into the low gluten diet, just click on the My Page logo at the top of prepwithgreg.com. That's where you go to find this. And you can get other things like this. See, that's a protein pack right there. And that's a 30-year lasting. That lasts 25 years. And that lasts 30 years. So all kind of prep supplies available. Go to prepwithgreg.com. Support my channel and help yourself at the same time. Okay, now like I said, I also cover going to the big box store. I'm going to tell you to do that this week. There's certain things you need to do, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to need to do to get ready. All right, so what's happening? We've got a big march going to Washington, D.C., Mega Million March, and it's happening in conjunction with the congressional certification of the Electoral College. And this is like just most in normal years. It just happens there's competing electors, dual slates of electors from the contested states going to Washington, D.C. this year. And, you may say, well, it's all a foregone conclusion, and maybe it is, but there's still a lot of consternation over it all. And it so happens that, if there's a congressman and a senator, somebody from Congress and somebody from the House and somebody from the Senate, both contest the votes, then it has to be open to the floor for debate. And that is the case. So it will go to the floor for debate. Now, the case is that, there's a whole lot of Mitch McConnell Republicans, and you can bet that they will try to tamp it all down. The House is not going to be really supportive of some of this stuff, but that doesn't say where it will or will not go. That we do not know. I assume, given the propensity and the power of Mitch McConnell, that his side would prevail in that, but that don't mean he win the day, because the day may end in a fray. I'm telling you, the tensions are off the charts. These people are going there to protest Congress. We got a big big bunch of people going there, and here's what I'm told. Okay, I went to a meeting. Some of you know I've got a local survival tribe here, and I didn't call this meeting. I've called several of the meetings, but not the last couple. This one was called by another individual in our group, and in attendance we had people who were involved in law enforcement, people who were had a very high power lawyer. He's actually appeared on Good Morning America. I've had people with military experience there, and just people who were just concerned. It was mostly called together by those that are concerned what to do, because they're actually afraid right now, because they know it's maybe just about to hit the fan right now. And they were trying to form immediate contingency plans for what to do at this moment. So some of the things that was discussed at this meeting by some of the law enforcement types were the potential outcomes. And there were some there who, and I'm not telling you what I'm thinking, I'm just reporting to you, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm telling you that there were some there who believed that no matter what the outcome of the 6th of January, that it was going to get ugly, like right then. Now it may not end 6th of January, because if this goes to debate in the House and the Senate, it could go into the 7th. Whatever the outcome, it could last to the 7th. But of course, most people are expecting that the Congress will certify the Electoral College as what the media claims it will go in, the direction they claim it will go in. That's the predominant where people think it's going. But my understanding is that's the case. There's, we've heard about Stop DC talking about storming Congress. I'm hearing this side is talking about the same kind of thing, that there's some talk out there that it may not go well with the Congress if they decide to follow that process, because there's a lot of people, whether you believe it or not, or whether it's right or wrong, there's a lot of people who think that the outcome of certain things have been stolen from them, that this is different than, well, I'm not even gonna get into this platform. Don't, you may ask, Greg, why don't you talk about certain things? Well, this platform don't allow it. So, you do your own reading, do your own research, figure out what you think about it. I'm not trying to tell you what to think about it. This is not the purpose of this video. This purpose of it is to tell you to get ready. That's all I'm here for here today, is to tell you to get ready. It may hit the fan. So there's the one side, if it goes one way, well, that what everybody's expecting, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in DC. Now that I know, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in DC. How far will that go? I don't know. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. Greg Ellis is not sitting there saying that in fact, I doubt it, to be honest. I don't really think they will do that. But there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in DC. It could start to get ugly. How ugly will we get? Will there be a street fight in DC? I'm going to show you a couple pages here in a little bit, share a few things. Will there be a street fight in DC? Now, that's a higher possibility. I don't see people storming Congress, even though I've heard those claims. At least yet. I don't see it happening yet. But yeah, but there are people saying that. But there were people saying on both sides, in this dimension, so this is not a new thing. The thing that you need to be aware of is that even if the Congress did go along with the protest, with the challenges and the alternate slates, and they affirmed those electors who would ensure that Donald Trump stayed in office, then you could bet your biddy that it would be a lot of consternation there too. You can bet that the media would go hog wild, and that, there's going to be, any way this comes out, it's not going to be pretty. That's what I'm saying, guys. Either side, if either side prevails, it's going to get real ugly, because both sides have a shutdown DC plan. Both sides got this. It's not, one or the other. I'm not even taking sides here. I'm telling you what's in front of you. I'm telling you that we are coming up on a time when it could get extremely ugly. I've done several videos already, 3 in a series and 1 prior, really 4 Civil War videos. And a lot of people are saying that this week will be like the shot that was heard around the world, like Lexington and Concord. That's what some people are expecting. I don't think it'll quite happen now, but I wouldn't discount it. I wouldn't discount it at all. That's why you need to get ready. So Lexington and Concord is what a lot of people are comparing this to already. And there's people out there, they are going to be revved up. It's going to be a large group of people. It's going to be really revved up. And it's going to be a dynamic to watch. Definitely that. So, you know, and what I'm thinking is a lot of people that, well, yeah, what's going to happen is Joe Biden is going to be sworn in on the 20th and everything. Okay, well, the 20th is another day that things could go afray. Yeah, there's Mark Simpson's episode on that. The 20th of January, the whole world would turn to but all that said, my friends, you know, what I'm thinking is that, and there's a way around this too, maybe, is the when after if Biden gets sworn in, that sometime later he's definitely going to take on. He said he's going to take on a certain amendment that some of us hold dear in here. Amendment says that certain rights shall not be abridged. He plans to abridge them right off the bat. So to me, that's unconstitutional. He's going to turn millions of Americans to instant felons because they're not going to go along with it. At least felons by his definition. But how can you be a felon to unconstitutional laws? Good question. I'm sure people will debate that till cows come home, and that could be sourced a lot of consternation. But I'm talking about right here. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know, where it says shall not be infringed. Well, that is definitely where they're going. That is absolutely in their plans, big time. And a lot of people aren't going to go along with that. Now, the way around that, there may be a legal recourse to that, in that Mississippi has started a movement to start several sanctuary states here in the South. And some other states already decided to become sanctuary states for that right. That might be, and then they're using the 10th Amendment and several other constitutional arguments to establish that, and that might work to some degree, as long as you stay out of the other parts of the country. That might work. That might hold things at bay. It might keep us together. Look, guys, I've done reports on Civil War, but I don't advocate it because the Civil War is the ugliest thing you can imagine. It will be ugly. I don't know that we can get out of it, though. I don't know that it can be avoided this time because there's so much tension that the egg is already cracked. You know, this country is cracked badly. The animosity between the two sides is higher now. I guarantee you it wasn't this bad in 1860s, right? 1860, right before another Civil War was engaged in this country. If you walk the average person on the street and ask them, I bet you they wouldn't be about the other side, what people are today. I just don't see that in what I read in history. You know, it was a discourse, and there were people that were concerned and calling for things, but I don't think that level of tension was there at that day. I may be wrong. You know, I'm not standing right now squarely in 1860. I got to think real hard to remember that from previous lives, right? Okay, I do have a little fun in here. Forgive me for that. All right. Hey, this is a holiday, right? So far. All right. So let me show you some things here. Let's do some sharing here. Let me go to the web here. I'll show you some of what we're talking about. Move this around. Open it up. Now see here, here's one of the groups that are organizing to go up there. And their flyer says, take America back. And it says, be there. Will be wild. Will be wild. Now see, that's interesting language. And so they're setting up their little campaign to get up there and making all their arrangements for it. And you can see from here that USA Today agrees that it might be wild. Be there, will be wild, says one flyer. Well, I just showed you that flyer. So, and they're talking about law enforcement gearing up for it. Law enforcement there is trying to gear up for this event. I don't think they can gear up for that many people. not adequately. So it says, at the urging of President Donald Trump, diehard supporters are planning to descend on the nation's capital to pressure Republican lawmakers into aligning themselves, here it says, with the doomed effort to overturn Joe Biden's electoral victory. So you can see they're not expecting that there'll be any change in outcome. So that's the predominant view, at least in the lamestream media, which USA Today is part of. Here it's talking about how violent these groups were in the past. I would say that these protests in the past have been less violent than protests from the other side, but some will debate that. Some will debate that. But anyway, so that, you know, one of the things that you might be aware of, I don't think this article points it out, is they've shut down DC in advance of this, supposedly due to the bug going around. And they're shutting down a lot of stuff to make it harder for these people to stay. So they're going to, you know, these people are going to need to basically camp out. They're going to need to be like preppers going up there. They're going to have to carry their own food and water, maybe some life straws. So if you're heading up there, you better keep that in mind. Yeah, puppy dog. There's always a puppy dog. Maybe I can put us on a better mood and mindset, right? And here's other aspect to it. Proud Boys are heading there, and they're claiming they're not going to wear their normal clothing. They're going to be incognito, and they're even claiming that what they're going to do, their objective is to mix in and wear the clothing of the Black Lives Matter crowd and Antifa, so they can mix in with them. Wow. Yay, wow. I say that's explosive. That's explosive. So they're going there to rumble. That's definite. So yeah, what's that say? That says, my friends, what I was telling you, civil wars are ugly, because you don't know that guy standing there beside you is not going to turn around and knock you in the head in a split second. When you look away, he's liable to knock you in the back of the head. You thought he was on your side. No matter what side you're on, this is something that's prone to happen in a civil war. Neighbors turn against neighbors. Civil wars are ugly, 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 ugly. As I mentioned, there's other consternation coming up. I might do a separate video on this. There's a lot of tension right now between the United States and Iran over alleged perceived potential attacks from Iran. And the day in question, there's the 3rd of January. Maybe I should have done this report first, but I'm kind of more concerned about what's happening on the 6th myself. And so that week, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and it might, you know, some of those people might stay there longer. If Congress takes longer to debate it, it might run a little bit longer. You know, hey, there's a lot of YouTube channels going there. I'm not going there because I do have a day job. Let me stop this share. I'm gonna tell you about what you need to do, because that's my mission here. There's a lot of channels that are going up there. I do have a day job. It's not my liberty to go there, and it's, you know, really outside the scope of what I ought to be doing. You know, I don't need to be getting directly involved in these kind of things, you know, the kind of work I do in the daytime. And like I said, and for those reasons, that's why I try not to, you know, show a side here or anything, because I do have a day job that prohibits such things. So, I mean, I can talk about things, and I got certain liberties as a person and freedom of speech too. But it's also, this platform is not a freedom of speech platform, I might add. Whether it should be or not be, though, that's a whole different debate. But right now it isn't. And, you know, a lot of channels have gotten taken off completely, platform, just for talking about certain things involved with the way things are polled and tabulated. So I'm not going there. I'm just here to tell you to get ready. That's the purpose of this video, because it could happen. It could happen now. So here's what you need to do. You need to do the following. Make sure, because this stuff could happen on the 3rd, even the 2nd, because of that anniversary. Make sure right now that this entire week you keep your gas tanks tipped off to the top in your vehicles. Go to the grocery store. Make sure your pantries are full. Go to the big box stores. Buy the dried beans, the rice. Go to, of course, I always say you support your local people whenever you can. That's one of my biggest things. I've always say, hey, look, guys, you know what? Let me tell you this. This whole thing is not about Republicans and Democrats. I mean, by gosh, that protest, that million-man protest, is going there to protest Republicans. Because the people in this country don't think the Republican Party, the people that voted for Trump don't love the Republican Party. No, not at all. That's where the news media, they like to paint it this way or that way. It's not a Republican Democrat thing at all. This is about deep state, the globalist deep state versus those who love and cherish freedom, liberty, who don't want to be subjected to more and more tyranny, government control. That's what the deep state brings you, is more and more of that. That's what this really boils down to. It's globalism. It's a coming global reset. Oh yeah, I just saw an article saying that this should be the year of the Great Reset. And I was all for it. And somebody else put out an article just today. This should be the year of the Great Reset. Yeah, and everything's just right for it. This is the perfect year. We need to do it. Yeah, heck no. So, best way to fight them is with how you spend this. Spend it locally with your own people in your own community. Somebody said, when I said, well, Greg is just promoting people buying from him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying buy local, whatever your local is. Good grief, guys. What I've talked about so many times, go to your local carpenter, your local tradesman, your local, I'm not a carpenter or a tradesman, okay? If you got HVAC work to do, get your local guy to do that, your local electricians. Yeah, go to your local farmers market and such. I do that a little bit here, but that's not the bulk of what I do, okay? So that's how you help your community. That's how you keep self-resilience and self-sovereignty, but we go beyond that. Just for immediate planning, I digress. I'll come back to that maybe toward the end. I digress there, sorry. Keep your gas tank tipped off. Make sure you got enough food, water to get you through. Go buy a life straw if you haven't got one already. Have means to boil water. Get you some iodine tablets or maybe a little bleach. You got to remember, bleach only lasts a certain amount of time. Gasoline, get you some spare gasoline. Remember, gasoline has got a shelf life too. Gasoline's only good for maybe 3 to 6 months. They say 3. You could use it a little bit longer, but it does start to degrade after 3 months. Diesel fuel, kerosene, they last longer, fortunately. If you got diesel engines, if you got kerosene lamps and heaters, that's one way to help carry yourself. Buy propane for your propane stoves and little cook gears or whatever you got. Charcoal for your charcoal oven. Remember your refrigerator, freezer. If you don't have a backup power, even if you have backup power, you don't run that generator day and night, especially if you got a loud gas generator, because they're loud. And they also just scream, "We're out here. I got power. I'm right here. I got power." Yeah, we were doing that when we had a power outage for a week after the tornadoes in 2011, which came the day after I got my worms. So just remember that you don't want to run them all day. You can't sleep with them running at nighttime hardly. So the big thing is you're going to keep your freezer and your refrigerator cool. And once you got them cooled down, you can leave them closed for several hours having power on them, and they'll be just fine. But if you're opening and closing them, you need to have the power. So you can use them today, run the power. But of course, you're using a lot of gasoline doing that too. And gasoline may be limited. There's still concerns that all these things, we may get an EMP attack on us. And, especially with all the stuff going on with Iran. So we may lose the power, may absolutely lose it. That's why you want to, fill you up a few gas cans, but store them carefully. Remember, don't use the generator in the house. The carbon monoxide can and will kill you. It is bad. Do not, run it in a closed garage. Do not be in a closed garage, of course, with a car run. These common sense things I hope you know and take heed to. So bear these things in mind. If you're using a kerosene heater, make sure you're using clean kerosene, because otherwise the fumes may get you with that too. There's a lot of things to bear in mind. Candles, be careful of candles. Candles are starting more house fires than anything. If you live in an apartment complex and everybody's using candles, your risk of being in a fire are going up dramatically in a grid down situation. Another reason you don't want to be in a city. So then that comes to this bug out. Right now, you need to talk to your family, your friends, and form a plan. If the power goes out, the comm goes out. Yeah, that thing in Nashville might have been a dry run. With all this starting to go down, they might decide the easiest way to control things is to take out comms. So you may not be able to communicate with your loved ones, or you may not have power. You need to have a rendezvous point. You need to talk with your family now, right now, and establish a rendezvous point, just where you can meet up, where you can be safe, so that you can go elsewhere if you need to, but at least have a meetup time and wait for the people to show up. If you're planning to bug out somewhere, or you need to determine where that bug out place is right now. Are you going to bug in? Are you going to bug out? Are you going to bug in initially and then bug out when the heat gets hot? these are things you need to figure out. Where you bugging out to? You need to understand what that is. Don't bug out to the national forest. Well, it might be better than being in the city, but not a whole lot better, because everybody in the city is heading to the national forest. And like I said in the previous video on this, all the four-legged critters of any size are going to be gone in a matter of days. So the only critters of any size are going to be the long pork, that two-legged long pork. Don't be the long pork. And if you're in a national park, you're very likely to become long pork. So don't wind up on somebody's skillet. You don't want to be there. Yeah. Yeah, the really big national, really big land out west, you might be able to hide in some of that. But these national parks in the east are going to be crowded. They're going to be very crowded. You need to have well picked out your place to go. You might want to cache some of your stores, like you got things like these buckets here. The beauty of them is that you can bury these somewhere. I want to put in a little extra cellophane around them or something, but they're sealed, and the packets within them are sealed. I could take that and bury it somewhere, and as long as I know how to find it, nobody else knows how to find it. You could do water filters. You might want to take your freedom seeds and plant them in ground somewhere instead of how other people think about planting them. You might want to take, oh yeah, just remember, every time you pull one of these, and it makes a real loud report, and you're yelling, I'm right here, I'm here, I'm here. So bear that in mind. That's why I have done videos on silent hunting. I guess I should do some more. So just bear that in mind. There's times you don't want to be heard or seen, but it'd be hard to engage in combat with these. Not impossible, but would not probably be the preferred choice. But it's got its place. So you got to figure these things out. What's your tactical plans? How do you maneuver as a group? I should want to do some videos on that. And there's things you got to consider. Just real heads up. If you're out in the woods, I've done videos on how to eat from the weeds and trees. There's plenty of other videos out there that tell you how to camp out, camp craft, bushcraft. I'm going to cover those kind of things in the future if we have the liberty of it. I haven't done it yet, unfortunately. But wow, yeah, I sure would like to have done that. Just remember though, if you're out in the woods, don't keep your mouth shut. Don't talk. Come up with hand signals. Gather around, go forward. Halt. Just hand signals to everybody. Get down. Come on. Work out some hand signals. Don't talk. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be heard if you're out maneuvering through the forest with your group. And you don't want to all bunch up, because you can all be taken out at once. Be about 15 feet apart if you can. String yourselves out. Don't all be in one spot. And if you're attacked, if you are ambushed, most ambush locations you're like fish in a barrel. Usually your only recourse is to charge. Bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. But if you're charging with throwing rocks, you're going to be in a hard pickle. Because usually those that are, the little surprises, the only thing you've got in your potential favor in an event like that, because usually those doing ambushing are behind a entrenched position, behind barriers, and usually they have the advantage. Don't forget that either. All right, so it's tough. I'm not promising this will be easy, not by any shape, form, or fashion. That's why I said Civil War is the ugliest thing. What could happen after it goes down, even if it's not a civil war, could be extremely ugly. Our job is to try to prevent us from getting to that situation if we can. And for that reason, I have chaired power grid defense conferences. I do videos on power grid defense. I'm trying to rally some people in that area too. And I am also a state director. And Dr. Peter Pry is Power Grid Defense Organization, National Homeland Security Commission. He's leading up. So I am involved in that. I'm also support a Secure the Grid meetings which occur on a regular basis. And furthermore, as individuals and preppers, we don't stand much chance of enduring long in a bad time, because you got to sleep sometime. And so, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have the people that are moving around causing trouble because they have some political affiliations. They're on this side or that side, and they think you're here, and they're going to come and try to get you, right? Well, my friends, after those guys ravage through, the hungry people are going to start moving around. I mean, if you break the egg, I mean, the society collapses. The grocery stores, they just got the food you got. People are going to be starving. Those starving marauders, the hungry people, or the opportunistics, the warlords that will form their groups out of it are going to be a problem. They're going to be trouble, especially once they start forming warlord groups. That's what you got to watch out for. And you can't, you might be the best in the West with a paper watch, in a straw, spit wad in the straw. You might be the best in the West, but you can't. Sometimes you're going to have off day, and you got to always be the best in the West every day, every moment. You can't always be Clint Eastwood, even if you're better than he was. Sooner or later, your turn comes in that kind of game, especially if you're by yourself. You just can't make it. You got to have somebody to have your back. For that reason, I've started this network of survival tribes. I don't know, we may be late standing this up. I hope not. But I do have some potential leaders identified now, and I'm trying to reach out to them. And it's taking a little time just to reach everyone. Once I get these people verified, they will be calling some of you guys. We've got really 3 active groups right now. And hopefully we'll have a lot more real soon. And hopefully some of you will be hearing back. If you hadn't heard from anybody, it's just, we're still forming, and it just takes time to do this stuff, making the contacts and getting everything sorted out. And look, we're all working day jobs and doing other things at the same time. But right now, this is getting urgent. If you haven't heard from somebody, do talk to your local neighbors and friends and try to have your own little group at least to hold you over. Because your family, who do you know has been in law enforcement? Who do you know who hunts? Who do you know who has been in the military? Veterans like myself. I've got a family of veterans, so I'm covered in that regard. But these are things you need to think through, so that somebody's got your back, got your 6, according to the MAG terminology, Mutual Assurance Group terminology. These are things that you really, really, really need to get going right now. If I were you, after that you watch this, you need to sit down and go, who do I need to call? Start calling some people, making arrangements, for people to have your back. Call your family, do it now. So, hey, if it goes down, come here, or we go there. Figure it out. Just figure it out. Whatever your signal's got to be, and loss of comm, loss of grid, that might be it. Maybe over a certain period of time, might be the quantifier. But these are things you need to start right now considering what to do. Now, I hope these things don't happen. I truly do. I hope that somehow we can get through this and heal our wounds and go forward. I think we're in that's going to be hard to see how we do that now. The divisions are so deep. How do we do that? I've done the video saying wearing the other side's rose-colored glasses and reach out and try to extend some love. But, wow, we need a whole lot of that fast. And it's hard to see. Now, maybe it'll happen. We can pray for it. But, we're in for a pickle, guys. We're in for a rough ride. I'm afraid 2021 is going to be worse than 2020. And some people seem to be relishing that. The people coming out and saying, oh, yeah, this is the year for the Great Reset. Yeah, we need to do the Great Reset. The people that talk about the certain bugs, yeah, they may not do it. They may not follow our protocols this time, but when the next one comes around, it's just mentally counting their money or how they're going to control things. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's a certain video out there, somebody and his wife on a major network show saying just that. Who am I talking about? That's a good quiz question. Who am I talking about? Who did that? I'm not going to show the video. I'll let y'all figure that out. All right. I've been on this I've been on it long enough. Well, there's a lot of videos out there talking about prepping. So you know that. I'm just telling you to get it started. Start it now. And look, I hope I'm wrong. I've just invested $5.5 grand into a trailer to be able to grow microgreens. I bought the trailer, you know, I put the AC unit in the roof of it, and I'm setting that thing up, and it's going to be a little bit more money to get that going. That requires electrical power. That requires a stable society. I'm investing in hope that we will have a stable society this spring and summer, at least stable enough for me to do that kind of business. I just bought property in Arizona, and I hope to be able to go back and forth. I won't be able to set that property up until spring or summer. So, and I got ads and things I want to do here. I mean, right now I'm just reaching a point I can really start doing things I want to do for the first time ever in my life. So I'm a little bit, you know, unhappy that suddenly at this point in my life where I'm on the verge of having my breakthroughs, that everything's on the verge of being broken. And I'm not fond of that. I'm not happy with that. But it is what it is. You know, we don't have control over everything, but you have control over your mind. Keep that. Don't surrender that. And, you know, we can always make choices. Can always make choices. So just bear that in mind. Somebody asked me if this would be a good week to stay at home. And I recommend yes. It's a good week to stay at home, especially if you're not one of these younger antsy people who want to go up and push things around. Well, that's what I said. Look, if you're not inclined to want to get out and get in scuffle, stay at home. If you're inclined to want to get out and scuffle, go to DC. I'm sure whichever side you fall on, you'll find plenty of opportunity there. Don't be scuffling. Don't start anything, people. I am not advocating that. I'd say if you want that, that would be the place to go. But no, don't do that. You know, we're kind of playing to the hands of other people when we do these kind of things. We just got to be really careful, really careful. So I'm not advocating anything other than you preparing to be safe for yourselves and your family. Take care of yourselves and your family. So that's what I'm here to do. Like I said, Propositions Channel will help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And I hope that we can work these things and pursue our freedoms through legal discourse, through the use of the system. That's what I'm hoping. That's the hope. Maybe I'm hoping and asking for too much. So for those that are in tune with that, I've started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. You can join the Freedom Restoration Foundation by emailing me at info@Freedom Restoration Foundation. Links will be below in the show notes and in the pin notes comment section. Email me info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. freedomrestorationfoundation.org, and put freedom in the subject line. If you're interested in our survival tribes, same email, put tribes in the subject line. So, wow, guys, you know, this is my mom's 90th birthday today. I wish she were here still to celebrate. I could be with her, but maybe, you know, maybe she's better off not seeing what's happening in the world today. Wow. So I still wish she were here. I wished I could confide with her and my dear dad, who just passed away in March. Last year was a rough year for me. And this year could be better if we can just keep it between the ditches. So, guys, I don't need a crystal ball to tell me that this year we got a lot of consternation. I haven't been able to see anything in this crystal ball other than some pretty lights. So, but this crystal ball up here, the one between my ears, that's what I use to try to discern what's going down. I look at trends, what's happening, and the knowledge that I've gained through my many years of involvement in defense, aerospace, prepping, power grid, the many things that I've been involved in all these areas. That's what I used to draw on. I've been since a kid a fan of history. Study military strategy. Yeah, that's the kind of books I was getting when I was a teenager. I was buying books on military strategy and survival. And Joe Gibbons books. So I just want to say, I want everybody to just take care of their families, take care of themselves, and let's hope that somehow peace prevails, and let's hope peace and freedom prevails. We want our freedoms, but we like to have peace too. Now, maybe I'm asking for too much. But you can, what I always tell you is hope and pray for the best and prepare for the worst. That's what I want you to do right now. Right now is the time to prepare. So now I know that you watch it this long, so Greg, I agree. Right now is the time to prepare. All right, everyone. I've gone longer than I meant to. I thought when I started this video, it'd be like a 6-minute video. So I want to say with that, Happy New Year. I hope you really do have a happy, prosperous, and healthful New Year. So thank you for watching.